You know, we spend most of our lives trying to become somebody, someone important, someone respected, someone solid. We build this identity like a fortress, brick by brick, achievement by achievement, worry by worry. We polish the nameplate on the door and hope nobody sees the frantic carpenter inside. But have you ever considered the immense, liberating, beautiful relief of being nobody? Not a nobody in the sense of worthlessness. Oh, heavens no. But a nobody in the way the sky is nobody, in the way a river is nobody. It simply is. It doesn't need a resume. It doesn't need to prove its riverness by rushing to the ocean faster than the river next door. It is a glorious, complex happening, and it has no name. We are brought up to believe that this ego, this thing we call I, is the most real thing about us. This chronic sense of a separate self, a skin-encapsulated soul, a pilot in a cockpit of flesh and bone, steering itself through a dangerous world. We feel it so deeply. This constant, subtle effort to protect itself, to aggrandize itself, to make sure it doesn't die. But what if you are not the pilot? What if you are the sky in which the pilot appears? You see, we are taught to ignore the most obvious thing in the universe. We ignore the fact that we are happening, that you are not something that is being pushed by life. You are a symptom of the universe. You are what the universe is doing at the place you call here and the time you call now, in the same way that a wave is what the whole ocean is doing in a certain place. A wave doesn't have the ocean, it is the ocean waving. You, my dear friend, do not have a life. You are life, personally. So then, this feeling of being a separate ego, a somebody, is a kind of hallucination, a necessary and beautiful game, but a game nonetheless. We have all agreed, like children playing pretend, to believe that we are these isolated beings. And we play the game so well, we forget it's a game. We become like a person on a stage who is so convinced they are Hamlet that they've forgotten the green room, the audience, the playwright, and the fact that they can take off the costume. And to be nobody is simply to remember the green room, to step out of the spotlight for a moment and see the whole theater. It is to realize that the person you think you are is a performance, and the real you is the boundless awareness watching the performance. It is a tremendous relief, because when you are trying to be somebody, you are constantly on trial. You have to maintain the mask, you have to defend the fortress. It is exhausting. But when you see you are nobody, you see there is nothing to defend. There is no separate thing to be attacked. You are free to wear the mask, to play the part of the banker, the teacher, the parent, the friend, to play it with utter abandon and joy, because you know it's a mask. You are not fooled by your own performance. You become like the clouds, forming, changing, dissolving, never clinging to a single shape, because they know, in their watery way, that they are fundamentally the whole sky. And the sky doesn't care what shape the cloud takes, it holds them all equally. Now, this game of being somebody, it starts to get serious. It starts to hurt, because when you believe you are this isolated self, you feel a deep underlying anxiety, a sense of alienation. You feel you are a stranger in the universe, a little mind looking out at a world that is not you, and that is potentially hostile. And so what do? We try to define ourselves by what we are not. I am not poor. I am not unsuccessful. I am not that kind of person. We draw lines, we build walls. We think, I do not trust nature at all. It has got to be watched. You know what that leads to? It leads to 1984 and Big Brother. It leads to the totalitarian state where everybody is his brother's policeman. But more terrifyingly, it leads to the totalitarian state inside your own head, where you are constantly policing your own thoughts. Is this thought acceptable? Is this feeling the right feeling? Should I be happier? Should I be more productive? You appoint a little psychoanalyst inside to be in charge of you all the time, to make sure you do not think dangerous thoughts or peculiar thoughts. And you report all these peculiar thoughts to your internal authority, who keeps a record of them. And this record, this is what we call our personal history, our story of me. And we think this record is who we are. It's much more important to record what happens than what happens. This is already eating us up. It's much more important that you have your books right than that you conduct your business in a good way. We are so busy keeping the records of our somebodyness that we forget to live. So the map becomes more important than the territory. The menu becomes more important than the meal. We go to school not to learn the charming irrelevances of life, not for the scholar, the leisure, but to get a union card, to get a PhD so we can earn a living, to become a better, more efficient somebody. We are taught that everything must have a purpose, a reason, a measurable outcome. We ask of a beautiful sunset, what is the purpose of this? We ask of a bird's song, what is it for? We say, it is a mating call, purposeful. They are trying to get their mates, but why? Why survive? What is that for? Well, to survive. You see, we explain things in a circle. We are like tubes. We have to put things in one end and let them go out at the other. And we develop this clever nerve ganglion at one end, and we think the whole point of the tube is to keep the tube going. But the stuff going through wears the tube out. So the tubes have complicated ways of making other tubes to do the same thing. And we say, well, that is terribly serious. That is awfully important. We have got to keep on doing this. And we become vultures. We only do things because we are going to get something out of it. We can't just pick up a pebble on the beach and enjoy it. We have to feel we are salvaging our conscience by saying it is for the advancement of our aesthetic understanding. Enjoy the pebble. Do not feel that you have got to get a sermon out of it. Sermons in stones and God in everything be damned. Just enjoy it. If you can do that, you become healthy. You become able to be a loving, helpful human being. But if you can't, you are just a tube, endlessly consuming, forever anxious, always trying to become a more permanent, more successful somebody in a universe where everything is gloriously, radiantly changing. So how does one practice being nobody? It is not a practice of doing, but of undoing. It is the practice of purposelessness. When we say something is purposeless, it is a put down. There is no future in it. It is a washout. But when the Chinese hear the word purposeless, they think that's just great. They think nature is purposeless. It is like the waves washing against the shore, going on and on forever with no meaning. A great Zen master said as his death poem just before he died, "From the bathtub to the bathtub, I have uttered stuff and nonsense." The bathtub in which the baby is washed at birth, the bathtub in which the corpse is washed before burial. All this time, all our achievements, our worries, our loves and losses, is it anything more than the chattering of birds in the trees? Twee, twee, twee. What is it all about? And the answer is, it is not about anything. It is a dance. And the meaning of the dance is the dance. When you dance, do you aim to arrive at a particular place on the floor? Is that the idea of dancing? The aim of dancing is to dance, to be fully present in the movement, the rhythm, the joy. Is music getting somewhere? If the aim of a symphony were to get to the final bar, the best conductor would be the one who got there fastest. No. We listen to music for the journey, for the unfolding. We listen to it in the eternal present. Life is exactly the same. We think life has a purpose. We must follow God's purpose. But when you ask what that purpose is, they never know. They think God is working his purpose out as year succeeds to year. What's the glory of God? I'll tell you what it is. In heaven, all those angels are gathered around the glory of God, the which than which there's no witcher. And what are they doing? They are saying, hallelujah, hallelujah. It means nothing. They're just having a ball. That's what happened in the beginning. When God created the universe, it was created like all stars, all planets. They are vaguely spherical. He created this and said, have a ball. But before he said that, he said, you must draw the line somewhere. That was the real thing he said first. Before, let there be light. You must draw the line somewhere. Otherwise, nothing would happen. You've got to have the good guys, the bad guys, black and white, light and darkness. You must draw the line to create the game. And the beautiful, terrifying choice is this: are you going to trust it or not? If you do trust it, if you trust this nature both outside you and inside you, you may get let down with a wallop. That's the risk of life. But if you don't trust it at all, you are going to strangle yourself. You are going to fence yourself around with rules and regulations and laws. And who's going to guard the guards? It is a game that cannot be played. It is like wanting to throw an ashtray, but not trusting yourself to let go of it. You want to be absolutely sure it hits its target, so you don't throw it. You carry it along. You never let go. To throw it, you must let go of it. To live, you must have faith. You must trust yourself to the totally unknown. You must trust yourself to a nature which does not have a boss, because a boss is a system of mistrust. That is why Lao Tzu said, "The Tao loves and nourishes all things, but does not lord it over them." To be nobody is to finally let go of the ashtray. It is to stop carrying the weight of your own self-importance. It is to join the dance of the wild geese hidden in the clouds, the ship vanishing behind the distant island, wandering on and on in a great forest with no thought of return. It is to realize that you were always nobody, and that this nobody is the most intimate, connected, and joyful thing you could ever be. You are the universe, looking back at itself from behind a pair of eyes, wondering what it's all about. And the answer is in the wondering itself. Not in an answer, but in the mystery. The beautiful, purposeless, eternal mystery. So, let's stop trying to be somebody special, and let's start discovering the specialness of being nobody at all.